All right, today's session is about when you're getting started. When you're getting started, what does it look like to get started right? Right? We've all started this business as a solopreneur, just with basic tools, basic budgets, and now we have grown. Some of us have grown to real full-time businesses. And what did it take to create that so y'all can get started right? Right? So the topics we're going to go over today are forming an LLC, your name and your brand, your website, setting up a professional email, your business cards, bank account, accounting systems, getting your business insurance, your business plan, marketing strategy, networking, social media profiles, your virtual phone systems, the contracts and templates you need, which you're going to get from me, and whether you need a dedicated workspace or an office, whether you want to operate solo or build a team, and then finally finding your niche to like double down on. Before I go any further, I have this disclaimer here, right? So I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant, and I'm not a financial professional, licensed financial professional. This is only for educational purposes, informational purposes, should not be considered legal, financial, or professional advice. Hire an attorney, hire an accountant, hire a financial advisor, to get your own circumstances, your own business plans and entities reviewed. I don't provide any guarantees of results or profits, right? This mastermind is based on my journey and my results. And all this information, again, is from personal experiences, and success depends on so many factors, like including how much effort you're putting in, how much marketing budgets you have, what type of market you're in, the strategies you're using, the marketing methodologies you're using, the tools you're using. So performance will be dependent on each individual person's combination of those things. And my past performance is not indicative of not only my future results, but y'all's either. So perform your due diligence and make financial decisions accordingly. So diving straight into forming an LLC. Does anyone here not have an LLC yet? Everyone's got an LLC, right? So great. An LLC and EIN is required for you, not only for your own liability protection reasons, but also to create that separation between your personal funds, business assets, and your business assets, debts, liabilities. Also, because you're marketing with tools that allow you to cold call and text message, it is now required that your business be registered for application to person 10-digit long code format. And you need a business entity and an EIN to be able to register and qualify for that. How do you get an LLC formed? You basically file it either directly through the Secretary of State, or you can use one of these services that are out there. If you're looking to form an LLC that offers like maximum anonymity and protection, you can use something called Wyoming Agents. They only charge like a very small amount to get everything set up and filed for you. Just one moment, guys. Just gotta quickly mute my Teams. Okay, so you can use something like Wyoming Agents. They charge $25 a year, but they charge like $100 or $200 to get started. Very efficient, very quick. A lot of people I know use it. I'm not a spokesperson for them. I don't use them myself. I decided to use them at one point. I was going to move forward to separate my marketing entity from my buying entity, but I decided not to because I got licensed, and I also I operate very carefully as to what I'm doing. So we try not to do anything that tries to circumvent the law. So we decided not to use them eventually. But my first entity was created using LegalZoom. Then I used a local attorney here in Texas to do my next one. And then I've been self-filing my additional entities going forward through Secretary of State. It's cheap. You don't have to pay anybody. I think it costs like $180 to file, another maybe 50 something bucks to file like additional paperwork. If you need a DBA, it's another 50 bucks. Then you can file for an EIN for free with the IRS. And those will help you get started the right way. When you have an entity, then you can start creating a business name, business brand, business bank account. Now, your entity name doesn't have to be your business name, because you can have any entity and then you can have a business doing business as a DBA setup under which you choose to market for your business, right? So if you call your company your name holding company or 123 Properties LLC, that's totally okay. The only time that name will be displayed or revealed to anyone is when you're signing contracts under that name, because you cannot sign contracts under a DBA's name. It has to be under your LLC's name, right? When you have bank accounts opened, it can't be opened under DBA's name. I'm pretty sure they'll accept checks written out to your DBA, but your DBA has to be on file with the bank. But the bank account will initially be opened under your business name, your LLC name. So what we did was we created an LLC first. My LLC doesn't have anything to do with name. We're called Property Revival Specialists LLC. And we did that because we were going to be flipping some homes. We were going to be flipping houses. We were going to be flipping wholesale contracts. So I decided to use an LLC that sounded like We Remodeled Homes, Property Revival Specialists. Well, I found myself in land, as you guys know. So I'm no longer using the LLC for marketing and branding. The only time my LLC name appears is when I'm buying or selling any properties that I buy and sell, right? Even on wholesale contracts, that's where my LLC name shows up. If I'm expecting to get paid, that's when my LLC name shows up. Everywhere else, we are Builders Land Source. So we've worked hard on our branding, worked on our business name, but our LLC name does not reflect my business focus at all. So a strong brand will create an image that distinguishes you from your competitors, right? I knew doing land as property revival specialists did not give me an edge or recognition. So we created something called Builders Land Source, which now essentially helps me get noticed for what we do. Builders Land Source. When we get in front of sellers, buyers, builders, it kind of automatically like helps them connect the dots, right? So choose a name that reflects your business focus, create professional logos, color schemes, and a tagline to reflect your vision. So my tagline is just buy, sell, solve. As we buy, we sell, and we solve real estate problems and curative problems, title issues, title problems. So for us, it's been buy, sell, solve. And I even registered the domain buysellsolve.com. If you go to buysellsolve.com, you'll see a website where we list all of our inventory. If you go to builderslandsource.com, you'll see everything about our company. I'm going to show that to you in the next slides here. Some resources that will help you get started and get your branding on point is a book called The Purple Cow and a book called Good to Great, right? The Purple Cow is all about you having some very unique branding that gets you noticed, that gets you in front of people, turns heads, and makes you instantly recognizable. You've seen some branding like that. You know when a certain color appears with a certain type of logo, it's a certain company. I'm not going to name any companies, but there's very easy brand recognition. And some of the big companies I don't mind naming, like you see Three Stripes, you see Adidas, right? You see a swoosh, it's Nike. And there's so many of them out there. So these couple of books will help you kind of determine how you can create a brand that just distinguishes you from the competition, helps you sit apart and get noticed. Then building your website, right? I know some of you have told me you guys don't yet have a website. A website is a great digital asset for you. Like my website is a big part of my business right now. Our website brings in a lot of leads for us. It has information about our services. It has information about like who we serve. It has several types of lead intake funnels built into our website. And then when I have any announcements, webinars, masterminds, I post it on my website. And guess what? My website is hosted inside of REI Reply. So REI Reply is a great platform for you to have your website stored, hosted, and it can be super fancy. So I'm going to actually show you my website here real quick so that you can see what my website actually looks like. What my website actually looks like. So let me resume sharing. So this is builderslandsource.com, right? We built a website. Believe it or not, Sam, my younger brother, built this design. It's based off of a template that already existed in REI Reply, but we heavily customized it. We help builders find viable land, right? Because we work with a lot of builders, and we want this website to be a lead generation machine from not only the seller's front, but also the builder's front. So when somebody lands on our page, they know we work directly with builders. And when builders land on our page, we have something called Join Builder Network, which leads to a builder intake form that they answer, and we get that lead sent to our CRM directly. So feel free to browse my website. It has a couple of sections where we dive deep into who we are as a team, what experience we have. A lot of these keywords have been carefully chosen for SEO. We have a new member on the team that we're going to add here soon. Then we've got little bios of all of our team members. What do you see? Can somebody kind of give me some feedback? When you see our website, what do you infer from this website? What can you tell about our business? Anyone?
That it's established and it's not going anywhere.
Absolutely. Insane amount of credibility and stability is reflected from our business. And we had professional photo shoots for our team members. Like we had a photographer come to the office, take different types of headshots, and these photos were taken from that photo shoot. Like we had people working at our desks, in our conference room, in our building, downstairs where the co-working area exists. So we had a whole bunch of pictures, and you'll see some of those photos on our website. This will be key. Also, we have a section about selling off market or listing, allowing us to list. And we made this little comparison chart here, helping sellers decide, hey, do you want to sell for cash? Do you want to help us or allow us to list your property on market? Or if you're flexible, allow us to sell or buy with terms. And then we have these 3 different types of intake forms. So if you're looking to buy land, if you're a buyer, you can fill out this form that brings you in as a buyer lead. If you're a seller, you can fill this sell your land form, which can help you sell your property, give us a seller lead. Matter of fact, we actually need to do a little bit more SEO optimization here, search engine optimization here, so that we can heavily skew the page in search results to show up for when people are looking to sell their properties. So this is going to be a project for Sam coming up where he's going to do some SEO keyword research and drop those keywords in here that will allow this page to show up higher in rankings for our markets. If somebody wants to sell land in Houston, sell their lots in Houston, this is going to show up, and then our website basically gives them what they need. We're probably also going to end up putting some pictures of our team here, which will help, again, build credibility. Then we have a partner with us form. So for you guys that are in our mastermind, you need our help. You get priority access to me and my team. We get sent a lot of leads and deals through this form, but we don't respond to everybody and anybody because a lot of times they're junk. They don't know what they're doing. But for people in the mastermind, when you're hunting, either using Crystal Ball or I've given you some criteria for where to hunt, your leads and your deals get to us and we work on them ASAP. And then we work on them together and we help you. We can help either with a lead that you have that you bring into us and we work it for you and bring you in as a 30% partner on that deal. Or if you've got something already under contract, we can bring you in as a 50-50 partner and we'll help dispo that deal. But we will underwrite it again to ensure that the numbers work. And then you can book a call. If you're a builder, you can book a call directly with me. And I've got a calendar like Calendly. This is TidyCal. TidyCal is a software available for like $30 for life or $25 for life. You don't have to pay Calendly every month. and you can integrate it on your websites, on your phones, on your apps. You can send people links to meet with you. So somebody wants to book a call with us, they can go here and book a call, especially if you're a builder. Individually, our team members also have a book a call with individual people section. We don't have it online here. Actually, we do have it online. So you can book a call with either David or Courtney, select who you want to meet with, and it'll pull their calendar up. And you know what? This was actually built, this little embeddable calendar was built inside of REI Reply. So this is a tool you guys have access to if you're already subscribing to REI Reply or joined as a premier member or premium member. So you can build this inside of REI Reply. I have my calendars on TidyCal, and I'm not sure what the link is. It may not be consultation. There it is. Consultation is a link where you can schedule a consult, and I have these coming from TidyCal. So if somebody is a builder and we want to do a builder intro call, you can book with me. If somebody wants a consult with me, they can pay and book with me. Somebody wants a 60-minute consult, they can pay and book with me. And this goes to a payment gateway after they select and provide all their details. So your website can be a massive digital asset for you. So you should certainly invest in a website if you haven't already, okay? Any questions on this stuff so far? Does everybody have a website, or is there anyone that doesn't have a website? Or if you have a website, you're not happy with your website? Feel free to chime in, otherwise it's just pointless having a mastermind and paying money to be a part of mastermind. You can't discuss.
So Bhaskar, I had mine through REI Reply, but I killed that account. So once I get set up, I'm pretty familiar with it, so I can get it up and going.
Got it. Awesome. Integrating lead forms and all of that. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I have mine through RE Simply, but I'm going to drop it whenever I switch over to REI Reply and start over from there.
Is RE Simply also a Go High Level clone?
I don't think so. I think they designed it themselves. A guy named Sherrod.
Okay, excellent. Okay, yeah, I know Jim's got a beautiful website. His website does a lot for him. He sells his properties through them. He gets leads through them, and I think it's built on Carrot, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I use Carrot. It's really good, really easy. My business is a little bit different. I do I take ownership of the lots on most of them, but I'm trying to do more infill stuff where we lock it up with an option and dispo it that way. But it is useful for that too, because I have a place where I can point people and put my videos, pictures, etc. So yeah, I think it's definitely good to have. And yeah, I like Carrot.
Absolutely. Investor Carrot's pretty good. Like they have some easy to build sites, templates in there that you just drop your information and they fill it up with like some like usual like investor style text content. It's a little bit on the pricier side for me, especially knowing what I can do with REI Reply or Go High Level. So I don't really need Investor Carrot, but if somebody's looking to get something, they can just like get set and go on. You just sign up for Investor Carrot, drop your information in there, and publish your site very quickly. Of course, as a trade-off for efficiency and speed comes price. So setting up a professional email. If you guys are marketing or communicating with people using Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, stop right now, because that's killing your credibility with your sellers and your builders. Everybody in my organization has a professional email. That's one of the first things we set up. When Ken joined our team, we had him provide us with a headshot, a professional headshot. We created an email signature for him, and we created an email address for him, which is his first name at builderslandsource.com, right? Highly important because, again, with that same theme of us appearing as a big established company, you can't look like a big established company if you're operating with a Gmail account, right? So we have professional emails for everybody, and we have some catch-all emails like sales@builderslandsource.com. That's an inbox that everybody on the team has access to, and we use for multiple things like if somebody doesn't want to fill out our partner with us form and they're in a rush and they want to send us a deal, on rare occasions, we'll have them email us that deal to sales. So everybody on the team can look at it, somebody grabs it and starts working on it. Outbound emails that need to go from a generic email that the whole team needs to be able to see go from sales. Also, we have our Mailgun integrated with our domain, but when we send emails out from Mailgun, they appear to go out from sales@builderslandsource.com also. How do you get yourself a professional email? Well, you sign up for a domain and email through Microsoft 365 or ionos.com. We do both. We have some domains we've purchased directly through Microsoft because it makes it very easy to integrate into Microsoft's ecosystem, their 365, platform, which we use heavily. When we go to systems, when we have our major systems discussion in the upcoming weeks, you'll see how our Microsoft 365 platform is set up, but it's amazing. It works. It gives you access to professional email administered through Exchange. You have your domain name. You have the ability to add and remove members pretty easily, and it works really, really well. Ionos is like GoDaddy, but it just provides far better services and far cheaper than GoDaddy. So we've had a lot of domains that we've purchased from ionos.com. They even offer repackaged Microsoft 365 email and 365 services in general. You'll pay a couple of bucks more through Ionos, but if your domains are through Ionos, you can get everything through Ionos for just a little bit of money. It is just ionos.com. And also Microsoft 365 is just Microsoft.com. So you can go to Microsoft.com and look for their 365 product and then sign up for specifically what you need, right? You can get their basic, their standard, their enterprise, and then you can even pick and choose this individual applications that you want to pay for. And it's not very expensive. The basic package is only like $6 a month per person. And it gives you access to online version of all your tools and desktop version of Teams and Outlook. But if you want something more and you want your team to have access to your Microsoft suite, you go with a standard license, which is $12 or $13 a month. Now, if you have a big team, it can start to add up. But for our team, 4 or 5 members, everybody has professional email and apps. We pay for the standard license for everybody. Business cards. I want to show you this as well, how we created and use our business cards. It's pretty simple. And it's extremely useful. So we use Canva for all of our designs. We've got templates built out in Canva for our business cards. So any team member that's ever joined our team, I mean, there's a few we've deleted from here because they've left the team, but this is the format. This is the front of the card. This is the back of the card. We have a QR code in here that takes people to our website. And all this design was made in Canva very quickly. We imported our logo. We talked about a brand logo. This is my brand logo. I came up with this in a few minutes on Canva, and this is stuck. I don't know if you can see this, but look at my hat right here. We have builderslandsource.com hats. These are for closers only. So people that have closed deals or multiple deals will get these hats. So we have somebody in our team that's closed like 4 or 5 deals now, and his name's Courtney. We're going to go celebrate his last 2 closings he had this last week. And actually, David on our team also closed one today. So they're going to get these hats as a part of, being closers on the team as a reward. But we also have t-shirts, collared t-shirts, professional shirts ordered for us that we wear at events and mixers that we go to, events that we host. We want to appear from all angles as a company that is, for all intents and purposes, a stable, solid company that is not operating, from somebody's basement, right? So this is our business cards. That Wyoming LLC site that I was talking about, it's this right here. It's called wyomingagents.com. I'm showing this now, even though we talked about it already, but this is exactly the website that you can use to form a company for $150 and designate a registered agent for $25. Great choice. I mean, if you ask me, it's cheap. They're responsive. There's no gotchas. It works really, really well. So y'all can look into this if you need to form a second entity or if you don't have an entity yet. We looked at the business cards. We looked at our website. So let's go back to the slides here. Any questions, feedback, anything that you guys are using that I'm not using that's working for you so far in your branding? Do you guys have business cards? Does anybody here have business cards already?
No, I'm not operating in my local market, so I wouldn't
Gotcha.
be meeting with any of the people.
I
Understood.
have business cards from Vistaprint where I got mine.
Excellent. We use Vistaprint. We design them on Canva, but we send them to Vistaprint to print because Vistaprint is cheaper already. Vistaprint has tons of promotions going on all the time that you can get discounts on. And then Vistaprint also has great customer service. If they mess up any small thing, and if it's not formatted right, or it's not the right gloss, if both sides aren't looking the same like you expected, they'll take care of you. They'll either give you a discount on the existing order, resend you another order, or maybe refund the entire order. They've done all of the above for us. So Vistaprint is a great resource. Got a lot of stuff done on Vistaprint actually. But for the for printed, like embroidered stuff, there's a website called Queensboro, QUEENSBORO.com. That's where we get all of our shirts, hats, bags. It's slow, but it's cost efficient. It takes sometimes up to 2 months to receive your stuff. Sometimes a month, sometimes 2 months. But if you order ahead, you'll always be prepared. And then there's a website for our banners. When we have our events and stuff, we have a lot of banners. We have like those Hollywood style flash, like those backdrops. We also have like these vertical banners that I've gotten done for different events. And I use a site called nextdayflyers.com or 4imprint.com. They're both pretty solid. Okay, so establishing a bank account and accounting system. If you haven't done this, you better do this quickly because it becomes really messy to separate your business transactions from your personal transactions afterwards. Like it's a very difficult, separating those. It's very messy. Your accountant or your bookkeeper is gonna have a hard time. If you don't have a bookkeeper yet and you're doing deals already, get a bookkeeper also, because that helps greatly during tax time, right? We use QuickBooks for accounting, for invoicing, for paying vendors. We also have a virtual bookkeeper out of the Philippines that has been keeping our books, but we have a local accountant here in the US that does all of my taxes. And your specialized accountants can get expensive. I mean, we do lots of business. We have, different businesses. So we have personal account tax filings. We have business returns to file. We have your franchise taxes to file, or at least reports to file now because Texas eliminated the franchise tax filing. And there's been quite a few challenges with being able to do all of that yourself. You don't know all the deductions you can take. So having a specialized accountant is going to help. Now, depends where you are at what stage in your business, because you may or may not be able to afford one. I've paid anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 a year to file all of my business taxes, but it has saved me $20,000 to $80,000 in taxes, which I was paying in the past years before I had a specialized accountant. Your books, if anyone needs a referral to a virtual bookkeeper for real estate, I've got somebody. Now, again, I'm not a proponent for them. They do an okay job. I've had to sometimes meet with them, prod them to do certain things the right way, but 95% of their work is great. They don't really make mistakes on the accounting front. It's more on the communication and billing or invoicing my customer side that they had some issues with. But on the bookkeeping side, their work's been great. My accountants grabbed their work and able to file my taxes without any problem. So they charge you per transaction. I think on average, I pay about $200 to $300 a month for all of my LLCs because my number of transactions aren't that much. So for $250, $300 a month, I get my books done. Does anyone have a dedicated bookkeeper here?
Yes.
Jim, what are you paying and who are you using?
I pay about $300 a month, and I use it's called Outsourced to UF.
Can you
And
put
they
that in the
focus.
chat too?
Yeah. Yep, I'll do that.
Okay. And how do you like their services? How long have you had them?
Probably 3 or 4 years, and I like them.
And who does your taxes?
I have a guy who does it. He's in New York. He's Craig Cody. He's familiar with land investing, and so I use him. I do a lot of terms deals where I sell on owner finance, and that's what I use him for. So he's pretty familiar with that aspect.
How much are you paying, if you don't mind us asking, so we can all maybe benefit?
I really don't know.
Okay.
Like I just pay him for the the filing. I think it's probably like a couple thousand every year, something like that.
Got it. $700 to $1,000, $1,500 per return is fairly common quotes that I've received. I went with a firm out of Georgia, near Atlanta, who only works with real estate investors, mostly buy and hold people, rental properties, but he filed mine as well. His is more like a flat fee system. It's about just under $4,000, and he'll file all your returns unless you go over the allocated number of hours, which I've never done. But this year I'm going with somebody different just because last year he grew so much that instead of him doing or preparing my taxes, he delegated them to some new members on his team, and I wasn't very happy with their services and the way they were just handling my returns, so I canceled his services. So this year I'm looking for somebody new. Actually, returns are due soon. So I'm going to talk to Craig. I might talk to Chris. Who do you use? 1,800 a year. Who do you use?
Hey, Vasco, I got a accountant CPA out of California. Her name's Stephanie Rodecki.
Oh, this is
Rodecki or something. Yeah. And I've been using them for a few years, and I think 1,800 a year. I thought that was expensive, but they do a pretty good job in keeping my tax bill low.
If you don't mind sharing their contact information with the group, like please post in the Facebook group so we can, I'll take everything that's been posted here and we'll just put it in that group for resources so people can use their services as well if need be.
Yeah, we'll do.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
So guys, having a bank account is going to be critical depending on who you bank with and what your needs are. Like you have to pick that bank carefully. Like I already banked with Chase. Chase gave me great service. But for one business, I went with Frost Bank because my business partner insisted on using Frost Bank. And people say Frost Bank's a great bank. I'm sure it is. They messed up quite a few things for me. They didn't send a wire out on time when they were supposed to. I went into a branch. There's no online wire services. I went into a branch and I paid for the wire, signed docs, but they never actually initiated the wire. So my property transaction could have suffered greatly, but I caught it just in time and they were able to fix it. It was delayed. Also, Frost gave us some printed checks with the wrong account number printed on it. So my checks were starting to bounce. So when I confronted them, they realized it was a mistake somebody made. And with Chase, I've never had any issues. Chase gives us exemplary service. They also give you a credit card when you sign up. And that can be huge to start establishing business credit. I have multiple businesses registered with Chase, and each time the smallest credit card that I've ever gotten with Chase was like $7,800 or $8,000. And the largest one I've gotten with Chase at the start of a business is about $50,000. So I have a credit line with Chase. In a pinch, I can buy a small piece of land on a credit card. $30,000, $40,000. If I can turn it around in a month, I don't have to pay the interest charges. I can get that done on a credit card, earn points, build my business credit. Because in the near future, like you'll start needing bigger credit lines. You're going to need perhaps to buy a vehicle for your company. So the business credit will come into play at that time.
Yes,
Plus,
just a quick thing to add. Can we do like maybe a separate thing on business credit lines? Because I currently use HELOC and it's about 9% interest, which isn't bad, and it's interest only if I don't want to pay the principal. Um, so, but I am interested because I've been in business a long time. I have tax returns, etc. I'd really love to maximize the availability of cheap credit that's out there. And I know there's people who are going to lend. So maybe we can have a separate meeting about that at some point down the
absolutely,
line. Just,
great
I
idea.
don't want to waste any more. Yeah, I don't want to waste time on it now, but yeah, maybe in the future if we could put a pin in that.
Absolutely. I'll note that down. I'll bring a business credit and expert, someone who can help guide us with like not only just credit lines, but maybe even raising capital, private capital from private lenders, So I have some people in my network that'll be great, and I'll bring them on, and
Awesome.
that should be very
Sounds
helpful.
good.
But for me, the best thing was personally to go to Chase, open a bank account for my business, switch over my bank from Frost to Chase. I still have both open because I have some recurring transactions that hit Frost Bank, but I'm going to change all of that pretty soon. But Chase gave me royal treatment because my other business accounts were there. And at start, I got a $50,000 credit card, and which I'm pretty sure as my business does well, we file our taxes here soon, and we hit that 1 year mark. I can ask them to increase that credit line. Hopefully, they go up to 75 or 100K soon, and that'll help borrow even more money. Now, having business insurance is extremely important. I've got some quotes for my own business. I haven't yet purchased a business insurance policy. I do have an umbrella policy, like on my personal assets, rentals, etc. But for specifically business, this is something I'm very actively looking to get. I don't have any resources other than some local business insurance brokers that I was referred to that I called for quotes. If you guys know any that work well, that are recommended, let me know too. But man, we're in a line of work where we fill out a lot of contracts that have a lot of things that could go wrong. We're in a business where people get sued left and right. Not only that, we can sometimes even have physical injury. It could be your, God forbid, but it could be your team members. It could be a buyer. It could be a seller. It could be a realtor showing property. Having a business insurance policy or a large umbrella policy is going to be critical because as you grow, you're taking on more liability. People are going to get aware that you're doing well and they want to sue you for all you have, right? So insurance is important. Look into getting that. Developing a business plan. We briefly touched for some of y'all. We talked about this when we met on our onboarding session, but having a business plan is like super important to set up. Where are you headed? The worst thing you can do is like set no goals, have no metrics, have no idea how to get from where you are to wherever you're trying to go, just because you don't even have a goal set. You can't score a goal if you don't have a goal post, right? So having a business plan is going to be super important. You know what y'all can do if you don't know how to develop a business plan, although it's fairly intuitive. Like you essentially have to set up targets for what you're trying to achieve. How many deals will it take you to get there at an average profit of whatever your average deal profit is, right? Also, incorporating your own budgets, your marketing budget, your software budget, incorporating in it how much time do you have to market. So like you kind of reverse engineer the process and create a business plan. You can also chat GPT this today. It's really awesome. Chat GPT can help you create a business plan by you just telling Chat GPT, help me create a business plan for my business of land flipping. Ask me any questions that you may need to know the answers for. Prompt me as you go. and help me create a detailed business plan for whatever business you're trying to do. And it'll walk you through each step, basically. You can set your revenue targets, you can set your budgets in there, and it'll come up with a very elaborate business plan. So if you haven't done that, you should do that. And you should not only just build it once, but review, edit, and update it regularly, maybe every quarter, maybe every 6 months. As you hit major milestones in your business, see how you are performing compared to what your business plan originally looked like. Now, once you have all the basics set up, you need to have a marketing strategy to go forward, right? I had a couple of people who joined. They asked me, hey, I'm ready to get my first deal. How do I get to my first deal? Well, your first deal isn't going to fall in your lap. I mean, we might send you some leads, but without you marketing intentionally and aggressively enough, you're not going to land that lead that leads you to your first deal. So out of all these different strategies available, you can choose to use any one or all of them. I'm using a combination of cold calling, texting, in-house direct mail of about 1,000 mailers a week. We're not email marketing on the lead gen side for sellers, but we are email marketing to builders and to solicit buyers. We will get a list of builders and we'll start sending emails for the properties we have, or even just in general, like introducing ourselves and our services. And then running ads, etc. So Sam runs ads. Sam's my younger brother. Sam is also a part of this mastermind. He's on this call too. He runs ads for other investors, other businesses. So both on Facebook and Google PPC. And he's run, I think we had our longest customer, an attorney, somebody you may actually know very well out of Florida. He was our customer for almost 3 years now for Google PPC. I mean, Facebook ads first, and then we slowly brought in Google PPC ads for him, and we had some amazing results for him. His lead flow was crazy. We're not spending any money on this just yet because all these other methods are working for us. But also there is one more method that isn't listed here that we started doing recently is JV partnerships. If you either have a deal but no buyers, or you have buyers in a certain area but not enough leads, JV partnerships are a great way to start converting into closed deals. So we have marketing set up that positions us in the Texas market very well. We have lots of builders in our buyers list, some that we've already spoken with, got their criteria for, and some that we are still trying to get in touch with actively. But we market to them, and then we let our JV partners know that, hey, we've got buyers lists or builders in these metros, these areas, and they send us their deals. And if they fit their needs or we underwrite and we look like the numbers are going to work, we market to our builders too. So developing a marketing strategy that works for you and your specific situation based on your time and budget is going to be critical. Which one do you think is the most expensive here?
Probably pay-per-click.
Google ads.
I guess it depends how much you're doing of each.
Absolutely. It depends on, yep. So I would say between direct mail and PPC, you're going to spend the most money on them. Let me give you a general idea of how much we're spending on cold calling. I have one VA we pay $1,400 a month to that does nothing but cold calling and texting. Mostly cold calling because texting has been heavily regulated as of late and hasn't really been performing as well as it used to. That's $1,400 plus I get billed in $25 increments from REI Reply for the utilization of texting and phone call minutes. We end up spending like $200 a month on calling and texting. It still generates a lot of phone calls and text messages, but he's been able to bring anywhere from 5 to 25 leads a week. It just varies heavily. It varies where we are texting and calling, what zip code, what county, how much data do we have. It has just varied significantly. So it's not been super expensive, but in full transparency, I'm spending $1,400 on a VA for cold calling and texting, and about $200 to $300. So about $1,700 a month takes care of my cold calling and texting, and brings an average, I want to say, about 60 to 70 leads a month. Direct mail, on the other hand, we're spending about just under $1 per mail piece. We do this in-house. We have paper envelopes, mailer templates. We have a color laser printer at the office, and we buy some stamps from some websites that when you buy in bulk enough, you get a little bit of a discount. And we do all of this in-house. We print. We have a paper folder, a trifold folding machine, and it sounds pretty tedious, but it's actually not. Like, we've got everything efficiently set up to where the mailers that you'll have access to also as a part of my Land Exchange toolbox, we just mail merge with an Excel sheet, print, fold, and then somebody has to stuff them in the office. Everybody helps out, and we get about 1,000 of these squeezed out every week. And I want to say 2 to 3 leads generated from every 1,000 batch. So I'm spending about $1,000 a week on direct mail, not consistently though. There have been gaps like this last week. There was a little bit of a gap because, I mean, I think we did squeeze out 1,000 last week, but this week we haven't sent any yet. But today and tomorrow we'll probably double down and maybe send 500-600 the remainder of the week. We did that because we were extremely busy with some closings, a lot happening, so we couldn't focus on it. And that's the downside. If you're doing this in-house, you may miss some of it. So that's why mail houses might be better in some cases. You know, Deal Machine has some very efficient mailers that have worked for me too. We send postcards, 57-cent postcards from Deal Machine that you can customize, and they already have all the data, and it's been pretty amazing. We've sent some mailers from there too, but I prefer sending like these trifold white envelopes over postcards, because postcards, I think, get discarded more than like a piece of mail that looks like we mean business.
Question.
Yes.
Bhaskar, the leads that come in from mail, do they seem more motivated, or is that a higher converting lead?
It is a higher
compared to your
converting lead.
text?
Yes, the mailers we are potentially looking at a $1.5 million commercial property purchase that can be potentially flipped for $2 or $2.5 million here soon. That came from a mailer, an older lady that responded, called. Again, full disclosure, when I send mailers out, I don't use my name, because my name doesn't necessarily make certain ethnicities jump up and say, yes, let me call this guy. So I use a very generic name, and I'll show you my mailers, what they look like. You'll have them in your toolkit too. By the way, next week, I think I want to do the Land Exchange toolkit discussion, a deep dive, so we can look at all the contracts, the templates, etc. next week. I mean, not next week, but in 2 weeks. But those are more motivated leads, Cecil. We got a gentleman who called yesterday. He has a 20,000 square foot lot in a zip code 77047, came through a mailer lead, was very polite on the phone, has been in his family for generations. He just is getting ready to sell now. People are preparing for a recession. He just wants to liquidate. So we're going to send him an offer today. Also, look at this. I don't know if you can see, but there's a text message that just popped up that says a JV lead just came through. That's coming through the website. There's people who know of us, and they have that link, because we've advertised that link on social media enough that people start sending deals or leads. Somebody just sent a lead. This might actually be worthwhile because it is in Harris County where we operate. So mailers are great, but when we dive into the marketing discussion, I'll dive into like how we decide who to mail, because we don't mail anybody and everybody. There's a very distinct targeted approach for direct mail because it's so expensive. Any other questions? Or Jim, are you sending mailers out?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. How
Yeah.
many are you sending? What's your volume?
Usually it's about, this is one of the things that I track. I send about, let's see. So right now it's about 1,000 a month,
Okay.
but
How
they're
many
very
leads
targeted.
does that lead
How
to?
many leads? Yeah, I mean, it varies with each campaign, generally about, maybe probably 5 or less% respond and then 1% maybe close, something like that.
So you get 50 leads from 1,000 mailer batch? That's amazing.
No, it's probably less than that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Because we're only seeing 3 to 4, maybe 5 phone calls from 1,000 mailers sent out. And some of those are promising. Some of them are just, they still want retail. Some of them have already listed their properties. So they're just not. But I'm pretty sure one of these days we're going to close a massive deal from direct mail. I've also noticed most people that respond to direct mail are generally people who've had properties for a very long time. They're old school, they're not super sophisticated, and they're older. That's been my experience. Or they have a property they already listed on the market. Some of those are kind of junk, but majority of the people that respond to my direct mail are older, have property for a long time, not that sophisticated. So it becomes easier for you to make a deal with them rather than someone that just has been watching the market pretty intently and you cold call and you text them and they just give you like an outrageous price right away. Okay, so as a land flipper, you should join some local organizations. It'll help you big time, or at least, or join some organizations in your target markets. We're in Houston, we're in Texas. So we joined the Texas Home Builders Association and the Greater Houston Builders Association, the GHBA. We're a paying member. It costs like $800 a year, but you get access to a lot of events. You get to meet a lot of builders in person. You have to still pay for the events. That's okay. But you get access to that club and you get to put those logos on your website and say, hey, we're members of the local business association. And if you look at my website, you'll see we have all of those logos like displayed on our website. And it says, hey, we're proud members of the GHBA. I'm trying to pull that page up here. Maybe Sam has moved them. So we'll have to check with Sam here. Oh, there it is. It's on our About Us page. Proud members of the National Association of Home Builders, Texas Association of Builders, and the Greater Houston Builders Association. We're active. We get emails from them. We get invited to their events. And we have access to like making phone calls to asking about certain builders. Some of these events that they have are very helpful too, because they talk about the new ordinances. They talk about zoning laws. They talk about things that are changing, high density buildings being done. We do infill primarily, so it's very helpful knowing about these things because then we can make our decisions accordingly, right? Let's go to next slide here. So, and I also make a point that my team attends a lot of local networking real estate events. We go to events all the time. Some are paid, some are free. And not only do they help learn about what's happening, what other people are doing, and you get to pass your business cards out and find potential JV partners, you also get to eat and drink with other people. So it's a benefit. You know, you go and you socialize, you have fun, and you're out there networking, talking about leads, deals, JV partnerships, handing out your business cards, creating new contacts. Matter of fact, our disposition specialist, Ken, he's required to attend an event a week so he can go out, network with buyers, find builders, hand out, company information to them. His business cards are en route, so once he gets them, then he's going to be able to pass those out as well. Again, easy to find Facebook event. There's a lot of events that will get pasted or posted on Facebook. Join RIAs. Once you like click on an ad by a RIA, like it'll follow you, so you won't miss those. Social media profiles. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but like my social media profiles are almost entirely used for business. I advertise our deals, our leads, our performance, our wins, our challenges. We have a TikTok page. We have a LinkedIn page. We have a Facebook personal profile, of course, which is pretty much business. And we have a Facebook business page. And I can actually show you what some of my pages look like. And these have actually helped connect with the right people. Like they've helped quite a bit. So let me pull up our Facebook business pages first. So let me go to pages, resume. So Builders Land Source is a newer company. This brand was only born this year. It's only been a few months. We're still building following, but our information's out there. People can contact, get our phone number, get our address, our professional email, our company's website, our Instagram tag, and we're marketing here heavily about what we do. We use the right keywords, the hashtags, what type of offers we can make. We were posting about our events. In general, we use this page to market a lot. Properties we sell, properties we have for sale. It hasn't reached the wide audience we hoped it would, but our presence is there and we're actively posting. And what that does is on Google results, when you search for Builders Land Source, or you search for like builders, land, we're starting to get random calls from people that were just searching for builders and buyers because they searched for us and they either found our website, like they searched for builders, Houston, and they either found our business page and they gave us a call, or they found our website and gave us a call. So this is one of the pages. We also have our Instagram page, which is basically the same thing. The same content gets shared on all platforms. There's a tool, guys, that you might be able to, like, there's actually several tools where you can have a single pane of glass and point and paste or post content to different platforms at the same time. We use a platform called MyMarquee. MyMarquee.ai is a platform that we use, and we get to use this to post on multiple websites. So we have a Builders Land Source account with Marquee, and we schedule our posts here. It even generates them for you using AI. But if we have posts that we want ourselves to create, we can do that as well. There's been 126 posts published here total, and this gets published to a lot of different platforms. So we have our Facebook business page, Instagram. We don't have a Twitter account. Twitter is mostly full of politics and porn, so kind of stay away from Twitter. But we have a LinkedIn company page, a LinkedIn personal profile. We have our TikTok account, and we have our Google business. And we're publishing to all these platforms from a single platform regularly. So I wanted to show you, when you go to Google and you search for Builders Land Source, you don't have to do it on Google Maps. You can just do it on Google, but you'll see the same thing. You'll see our reviews. You'll see about us. You'll see our photos that we've and our content that we've been publishing on here regularly. Google shows it better, actually, but if you look for Builders Land Source, you'll see our photos, you'll see like our posts that are all in here. So we have a lot of posts showing on Google too. And this keeps our rankings fresh as we're continually adding content there. And guess what? When you get enough reviews, that's also another place where people can look for or check your credibility. So getting your socials created is going to be a big boost for what you do. And posting content there regularly, you can schedule a whole month's worth of content on one weekend and let that automatically automatically get published on a schedule. So MyMarquee is a great platform. There's a bunch out there. We got by Marquee because if you don't use AppSumo, you should start using AppSumo. AppSumo had a deal, a lifetime deal for like $60. You never have to pay a monthly fee. I jumped on it, and here we are using it every day, or pretty much every day. Next is setting up a phone system. Like, obviously, for your business, you need a phone line. REI Reply gives you a badass phone system. You get a lot of functionality with REI Reply. You can set up forwarding. You can set up automations that help you forward to certain people or workflows. But if you're not tech savvy and you don't want to mess with configurations too much, you can get something like OpenPhone. We use OpenPhone as our main line because it has VoIP features. I found out that they're both using the same Twilio backend. So technically, OpenPhone is just a wrapper that they've put on a Twilio phone system. But if you want to see OpenPhone, I can quickly show you what our OpenPhone looks like. And it's a great system. I mean, it costs, this is our OpenPhone system. This is we have two numbers. We have a 346 number and we have a 210 number. Both of them ring here on this web page. They ring on our apps, and they ring my assistant's phone and my phone. And you can chat with people. You can listen to the recorded calls. You can have your own contacts in here. So people that we talk to, we save them here. Right? We get some, well, depending on what plan you have, you can get some analytics and stuff. I'm grandfathered into their basic plan, which used to be pretty good. And their prices have now gone up, like the business prices have gone up. But this is what we're paying. We have 2 users, so we pay $20 or $10 a user, $120 a year for 2 users each. And then A2P registration, $18. And you get 1 free phone number with 1 user. Additional phone numbers are $5 a month. So you can use this as a badass phone system. There's a lot of integrations available. You can integrate with all these different platforms, and you can set up webhooks to work with REI Reply as well if you needed to. There's Zapier integration. Then there's just like a whole bunch of settings. So you can set up all kinds of webhooks here, your trust center for A2P registration. I also have, for my phone numbers, we have, where is it? I think it's here. So I have caller IDs. Builders Land Source is one of my caller IDs, and PRS is my other caller ID. I think I'm going to set up Builders Land Source as my calling ID for all of my numbers. So even for this one, I'm going to set it to Builders Land Source. So it's no longer going to say PRS. Now it's going to say Builders Land Source going out. And these are pretty easy. You can get a caller ID registered in no time. It just has to resonate with your business for what you do. And mine are both approved. For $20 a month, I have a pretty robust phone system. It does work on your data plan on your cell phone. So if you have bad service, guess what? It's not necessarily going to work super well. But it's okay. You can always call them back from your personal line. Number gets registered, call gets recorded. You even have an automatic text back feature. So after hours, you can automatically text them back. Or if you miss a call, you can automatically text them back something. So lots of cool features there. And Google Voice is Google Voice. I'm sure you guys have all used it. We use Google Voice for assigning American phone numbers to our VAs. I have 1 VA that cold calls, but I have 2 additional VAs that help with administrative tasks, data tasks, and sometimes with calling as well. And they have 2 Google Voice accounts, 1 each, that I created, registered for phone numbers, and gave them access in their countries. So now they have American phone numbers in Egypt, Philippines. So we can get a hold of them and they can start making calls as well. What are you guys using for phone right now?
I use OpenPhone, but my main one is when I'm making calls, I have one with Follow Up Boss, my CRM for dialing outbound. Yeah.
Awesome. Follow Up Boss must be using Twilio on the back end, I'm sure. It's pretty cool. Like,
Might be. Yeah. I don't do mass calls or mass text from that one. For
gotcha.
mass texting, I use Launch Control and they
Use Launch
manage those.
Control.
Yeah.
REI Reply is about to launch their REI Reply 2.0, which is going to change the game. It's actually SIM card based texting. So A2P 10 DLC doesn't apply, and you're not going to be restricted on what keywords you can use, et cetera, et cetera. So keep an eye open for that. Now, if some of you guys have registered for the premium account, premium access, I'm holding off to getting you signed up for REI Reply just yet, because yours comes with an REI Reply account from me, because I want to learn about the 2.0 offering on September 3rd. Once I do, we'll make a decision on which one do we need to go with, because the new account is not going to have, I understand, the same workflows and automations, but it's going to have a better texting calling functionality. But for us as a CRM, the 1.0 works very, very well, and which is my whole intention of why I want you to have that account, is so you can do things like have your website in it, have all kinds of automations and workflows, still be able to call and text through Twilio. But we'll make that determination, and depending upon the cost effectiveness and the use, we'll decide which one to go with. Okay. OpenPhone is amazing, by the way. OpenPhone, like I think I have a referral link somewhere. If anybody wants to sign up, I'll send them to you if you don't mind. But even if you signed up directly, my heart won't be broken. Well, legal contracts and templates. In Texas, we use TREC contracts, the Texas Real Estate Commission promulgated contracts, but we do have, as a part of the Land Exchange Toolkit, that you'll get like contracts that I have developed over time by combining elements from different contracts that we got from an attorney. Mine serve my purpose well, so you'll have to sign a disclosure, a disclaimer when you get access to your toolkit, that you're going to use it at your own discretion, and I'm not going to be liable for any misuse or any liabilities arising from the use of those contracts. There'll be like a little hold harmless clause. Excuse me. But you will get access to all of those contract templates. So I'll provide those to you. Let's talk about dedicated workspace or office, guys. So I had this slide on. My business grew significantly when I separated myself from my home environment. I used to work from home for my corporate jobs for a long time, but I didn't find myself to be very productive because there was no separation between home and work. No separation between home and work. And I didn't realize it was hurting me a lot. I had the luxury of a casita behind my house, and it's a little empty space, 200, 300 square feet, where I put a desk, a computer, a printer, a headset, great Wi-Fi, and I went to work. And this is 2022, where we just really took off. And I do credit having a dedicated workspace for being able to grow that fast. No disruptions, no distractions, huge whiteboard, and we got a lot done. In my office here too, I have a massive 8-foot whiteboard. And it really, really helps capture like my ideas, my to-dos, something that we just think of right away. Even diagramming with my team and discussing with my team. I've also tried working from co-working spaces, and those have actually worked really well too, because being around other people sometimes helps a lot. There is a lot of noise, and if you're especially like taking a lot of calls or making a lot of calls yourself, co-working space may not be the best fit for you, but it's great to like detach you from your home space and put you in an environment that just defines work in your brain, right? This is my workspace. You go home, that's your home space. Now, since we've grown, we have a dedicated office that we rent, and hopefully pretty soon we'll either be moving to a bigger office as we grow our team, or we're looking to buy a commercial building on seller finance if we can find some here in Houston and make that like our home base, which is going to be a game changer for us. I know Jim works or was working from a co-working space. Jim, how'd that experience pan out for you, man?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, snap, he's
You're
there
right now.
now. Excellent.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's great. It's better than it's definitely better than being at home because you can
Look, that's
there's
Jim.
like no distractions.
Yeah.
So I can get a lot more done.
Do you find yourself able to make phone calls to sellers and buyers and stuff from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a specific section that I sit in that allows for phone calls, and then they have like telephone booth rooms where you can go if you need to make like a whole bunch of calls and you want to do it privately.
That's amazing,
So
man. I love it.
yeah,
And you know, I remember seeing your post on when you left your corporate gig and you came to work in this dedicated space, you brought your daughter with you, and this flexibility, this freedom, this ability to like basically choose your time, choose your workspace, have this flexibility, and like have just the ability to like, work from a place that you actually love going into. Like that's a good feeling, right?
it is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's such a better environment for me at least. Yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else have uh does anyone else have a uh dedicated workspace? Like, do you guys work from your home, from your couch, from your dining table, or are you working from uh, like a room in your office, or do you have a rented space? How's everybody set up?
I just have an office in my house upstairs, dedicated to work, desk, computer, and just pretty basic. That's how I'm doing it.
Awesome. How much time do you spend in there?
Um, Probably not enough. To be honest, I don't track it as I should, but at least 2 hours a day.
2 hours a day. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Victor, what do you do?
So for you, kind of to piggyback on you, man, I'm at home. I'm in my basement. As you know, I have three little ones, so it's kind of difficult when I hear fighting or screaming or crying. I run up there to see how Super Dad can help.
Mhm.
So to your point, once I get going, get a couple deals under my belt, I'll probably get a smaller thing so I can go in there and just shut the noise and concentrate.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Awesome. What about you, Kenny? James?
Really just from my laptop because I've been traveling so much over the past couple of years. So it's just wherever we're at, just laptop on a table and get after it.
Gotcha. Yeah, you've been traveling so much. Kenny's been living all over Europe the last couple of years, and he's just been working from different places, which is pretty cool. But he wasn't able to actually. I don't think you were doing land while you were there, right?
No, I just got back into the land again this year in 2024.
The company that I was telling you about, their motto was an office for every employee because they believed productivity went up 5,000% when you find yourself in a dedicated workspace. And it's true. I look forward to coming to this office every morning. I love being here. It's not the nicest or the biggest office. It's not in the best part of town, but it is just set up for me to be extremely productive, my team to be productive. We are praying that we reach the target that we set for ourselves so we can go into a much bigger, nicer office, or we find a building for ourselves first, because I want every team member to have a nice dedicated space also. And we actually have cubicles. I bought cubicles for everybody. We're doing well. We don't have to have traditional workspaces like desks and chairs, so we bought cubicles, and now everybody has their own little cube. They have their desk, they have their computer, and everybody has a laptop, a dedicated monitor, so they have two screens to work from, a headset, access to all the shared amenities. We have some snacks, some coffee, some food, some drinks, sodas, energy drinks, water. We keep the office stocked up, and people enjoy being here. Courtney told me, he said, the first time in his life, he never wants to leave work. He looks forward to and doesn't want to leave work because the environment is just so amazing. What we do is just so amazing. And then here's this question. A lot of people ask me this in other masterminds or other group discussions or webinars I've been in, or I've provided. Like, I've got this quite a bit. How do you decide whether you need to operate solo or build a team, or when is it time for you to transition from working solo to building a team? man, it just really depends on where you're at, what your circumstances are, whether you're doing this full time or part time, how much money can you dedicate to your business, what returns are you getting, and if you're at a point where you've saturated working by yourself and your blueprint works, your proof of concept works, and you need to scale up, then it's time for you to replicate yourself and delegate to the new yourself. That's when you bring in VAs, team members. Look, I know Jim's operating kind of sort of by himself, but he does have a lead manager, if I'm not mistaken, someone that handles quite a bit of tasks for him. They're virtual, but I think they're onshore, right, Jim?
I have one woman who's my intake manager who, yeah, she's in Florida, and then I got other people overseas that help, probably about 4 total.
What do the overseas people do for you, Jim?
2 of them do due diligence, and then 2 of them do marketing.
Okay, excellent. So that's a great structure. So Jim has very little overhead because he has VAs. He has one onshore person handling some aspects of his business. He's running very lean and he's finding deals, closing deals. You don't necessarily need even that big a team. If you're good at underwriting properties, negotiating, you can have one VA do the cold calling, the texting, bringing you the motivated sellers, or even any sellers that show you positive intent to move forward, intent to get an offer, and then you can do the rest. But having someone generate leads for you regularly is going to be super important. Or when you get something and you don't have the time to dedicate to running, performing diligence yourself, you can train a VA, give them an SOP, a step-by-step of how to underwrite deals, how to run comps, plug it into a calculator. As a part of your land exchange toolkit, you're going to get access to a land value calculator. It honestly works best in disclosure states or states where you have access to MLS. For other states, it may not be super accurate because you won't have access to sold values, but you can train a VA to punch comps inside that calculator and it'll spit out the numbers you need to make offers at, numbers you can not go beyond, etc. So operating solo may work till you land your first 2-3 deals. If each deal lands you 10K on average, and you're running solo and very lean, and you have 25K, let's say, saved up in the bank, that's probably more than sufficient for you to hire 1 or 2 VAs and scale your operation to where you have more leads coming in and someone assisting with creating contracts, due diligence, calling the county, filing memos, filing deeds if you're self-closing, like in the county. A lot of stuff can be handled, delegated to a VAs. But if you're building a team, you can hire commission-based or salaried members of your team. And this is a discussion, team building will be a discussion, how I went through several iterations, successfully, unsuccessfully, to what worked for me. We'll have a separate discussion for it in this mastermind. But operate lean with low overhead until you have money left over to delegate tasks to people you can hire. If you only have 2 hours or 3 hours to dedicate to this craft, you probably need someone to spend the rest of the time. So my suggestion to you would be, if you have 4 to 6 hours in a day to do this business yourself, you can do it yourself till you close a few deals. But if you only have 2 to 3 hours in a day and that's not even consistent, don't expect success from part-time effort. Get a VA, have them do what you cannot do, especially in the hours when you're not available. They dial, they text, they do everything you can't do. So you focus on your job on those off hours, and they're out there making marketing for you, making calls for you. I've hired from Indeed for local employees. I have an in-office transaction coordinator and assistant that is salaried. We've hired from Facebook posts. I've met people at local events that I hosted that are on my team now. And then I use Whimsical and Loom to create my SOPs, and we'll have a discussion on our SOPs as well. You'll see some videos that I recorded on Loom. Thanks to Jim for introducing me to Loom, by the way. Jim uses the heck out of Loom. He gets more than his money's worth. He pays $8 a month. He probably gets $800 worth of use out of Loom, right, Jim?
Yeah, I bother you all the time with the looms. It's very easy, very simple, and it's one of the most bang for the buck tools out there.
I encourage everyone to get a basic subscription to Loom, start creating your SOPs, recording your own underwriting sessions, your own acquisition tasks, your own disposition tasks. And even in this mastermind, when you need to send me or my team a message in a group chat, which we'll talk about here shortly, send us a Loom. It's easier, it's fast. We can watch it in a minute or two, understand what you're doing, and then we can respond back with either a Loom or a voice message or a typed up message. It's much harder and longer for you to like type up a message, which I may not understand fully. You can explain a lot of things in a Loom very, very quickly. Jim's been using these for the last 2 years that I've known him, 3 years that I've known him, and we communicate back and forth with Looms quite a bit. I have an entire massive library of SOPs that I'm going to show you here that is now built entirely on Loom. You're going to be surprised at how much is in my Loom. So check this out. This is my Loom library. I have anything and everything that we do in here. So we have this one section called All PRS. Anything we do with data analytics gets stored here. Some of this stuff is this is all like private for Crystal Ball. VAs that we train, we have their tasks in here. We have transaction coordination style videos in here. A lot of these I'm going to upload as courses inside of the mastermind. So you'll have access to all of, or not all, I shouldn't say, but most of these videos. This ChatGPT webinar that I did, if you didn't attend, now it's available to you in the mastermind. I have it on sale for $60 now. Like this course is worth a lot more than what people were willing to pay. I've had several people tell me this was a game changer for them when it comes to scrubbing their data. I have disposition related videos here, 18 videos, how to fill out agreements. I have 2 trainings that I've already done with my in-house dispo person. Parts 3 and 4 are coming up, and they'll be in that Facebook, or that, not the Facebook, but the group that I added you to. The link to that group is mastermind.landexchange.info. Mastermind.landexchange.info. That's how you can get to that group. Mastermind.landexchange.info. You should have all automatically been added in there. Just reset your password, log in, and you'll start seeing courses that I'm adding every day, every week. So I plan on adding like some videos regularly, but like a course bundle every week. So as you go, this is going to grow with you. So lots of stuff in here, and you'll have, so basically create your own Loom account and land comps. How do we comp land? Like I teach my own team reviewing infill lots. There was a specific property we reviewed. They're in here. I'll post more of these. Acquisitions training. I have 26 recorded videos in acquisitions training. So you can like overcoming objections, deal machine tutorial. How do you write the unimproved property contract? Seller negotiation case studies on here. How do we write a property report and valuation? How do we fill a TREC 1 to 4 contract? Acquisition training I held in March. Steps to take once the seller signs a contract. A lot of this is like this is invaluable stuff. You can't really put a price on this because this is from my daily operations. Hardly anybody would ever be willing to share step-by-step stuff like that, but I'm happy to share with you guys as a part of this mastermind. Let's go on further, and it's almost time for this to end here. So we talked about operating solo, building a team, Loom and Whimsical. Whimsical we'll dive deep into another time. And then the last slide I have for you is finding your niche. Land can be very, it's a big field, right? We have infill lots, we have some small acreage, rural vacant land, you have large acreage, farm and ranch, recreational land, commercial, industrial, and then you can work in land in various capacities. You can be wholesaling, developing, buying and listing. You can just do, and you can represent sellers and buyers if you're licensed. What's important is you find your lane. My lane is infill lots. Yes, I've bought and sold small acreage rural vacant land. Yes, I've bought and sold large acreage in the past. I still will continue to list large acreage for people. I'm learning about development myself. That's the next stage for me. But I consider myself somewhat of an expert, highly experienced on the infill side, especially on the luxury infill side. Now, luxury infill isn't a part of this mastermind program. It's a separate program I offer. If you're on the VIP tier, you get access to that program. Jim in the past was in that program with me, so he's gone through that. And he's got some powerful contracts right now, some contracts that have some major margins associated. If I'm not mistaken, anywhere from 30 to 80K, it just depends. We've done some massive deals on the luxury infill side, but we do every infill. Like we sold one today, it only made $9,000, but it's something, right? Last week we did something, and then a luxury infill lot that brought in 34,000. Before that, we did something, it only brought like 5K. So it varies, but infill can make you a lot of money because it's very easily rinsed and repeated, right? Small acreage, rural vacant, and large acreage has a larger contract to close cycle, in my opinion. It just takes longer. Your due diligence may take longer. Counties may move slower. Buyers are fewer. Infill just moves a lot faster. We've done deals in a matter of days to where we've done deals as long as 45 days, the longest, I think. Some stuff, if it's not selling within the first 20, 30 days, you don't have a buyer lined up within the first 7 or 10 days, it's probably not going to sell. There's a problem. But infill is a pretty great place to be. That's just my niche. I'm not saying everybody should pick up infill, but people in the premium access, you'll have access to Crystal Ball, and Crystal Ball will give you insights in the Texas, in the Arizona market so far, in all of these buckets, small infill all the way up to hundreds of acres. So you'll find out where they're selling, what the sell-through rates are, what they're selling for, who's buying them, or like what builders are building where, etc. I just picked infill because for me as an engineer, it was very methodical. It was very calculative. Like I could have formulae, I could standardize this, and it just works really well for us. That's all I have for today, guys.